I just want to talk about what I've learned when it comes to change of status from visit visa or J1 visa to F1 student visa. Sometimes people tend to confuse. First of all, if I may just define, because we tend to confuse terminology. I just say change of status, meaning you're changing your visa from visit to student. But some people confuse that with adjustment of status. That is completely different. Adjustment means now you're here maybe on F1 and now they need to adjust you to green card. Those terminologies sometimes can be confusing and people use them interchangeably, but honestly they do not mean the same thing. So pay attention when you're using those words, because you can end up Googling the wrong forms. Trust me, I've seen people Googling the wrong forms, and then when they receive letters being told, oh, this is wrong, they run to Janet, and I'm like, but you did the wrong thing. Okay, so sometimes just listening to the videos or going on YouTube or listening to vloggers like us and you think you know might not be enough. Yes, I know of someone that was supposed to be doing change of status and they went and downloaded a form that is for adjustment of status. You see, like change of status, first of all, is I-539. All this information on credible websites, uscis.gov. That is the credible website. And they went and downloaded adjustment of status, which is from 485, if I'm not wrong. And that is adjusting from a student to green card. So these things, guys, you need professional help. They mean it. When they say you need a lawyer, they mean it. Okay, sometimes do not go on your own thinking, because it can be very detrimental. So that is one thing I've learned, is that sometimes we watch one video and probably we think we know, but mostly we don't. So that is the most serious mistake I've seen. Another serious mistake I've seen on change of status, I've seen people coming in and just going to find schools. And the US is very particular on that, because what you are proving to them is that your intent was not to come and go to actually tour. Your intent was just to come and go to school, and you are just pretending. Okay, so that is not good. That is not good. I saw that mistake also, where people just come, and by the time they come to ask me questions, usually it's kind of late, because you have already revealed the intent. Because the school, once you contact the school, they'll keep your records. And they will ask you, give us a letter from the school showing the first time you made the application to school. And the school can show that actually when you dropped into America, that is the time you applied for school. So those are the things that I've been seeing, where people have been taking matters in their own hands and they are failing. What else have I seen that is more serious when it comes to change of status? I've seen people go for expensive schools. I've seen people go for very expensive schools. I've seen people go for schools that are $35,000 sorry. I've seen others go for schools that are almost 50,000. And I use these examples. All of you learn from me, okay? As always, I never mention names. I love my people, but I like everything to be a learning moment, because if you followed me for a long time, I never like guesswork. I either use credible sources, credible websites, or I use real life examples. So this is real life practical examples, so that you are not the next one to fall in the same boat. Because some of you listen and there's just that little thing that says, why would I go for a lawyer? Why would I even go ask these people to help me? I can save on some money. I can save. Cheap is expensive. Cheap is expensive, okay? Now, when it comes to, if you choose a school that is 50,000, you have to be ready to provide a bank statement that is minimum $50,000. So that is something I've noticed, that some people have made that mistake of saying that, not saying, but actually applying to very expensive schools. And some of you ask me, but Janet, if I change status from visit to student, does it mean that I have to be in school? Of course you have to be in school. So if you go looking for an expensive school, you have to stick in that school. That is the only time people realize cheap is expensive. When they come to me and I give them options of what I'm looking around, they are just like, Janet, I had no idea. But how do I fix that? You've already paid the service. The service now is attached to that school. You've already revealed your intent. Okay, even me, if I'm the one looking at your case, I don't see like your intent was to come and go back. I see your intent was to come and take advantage of the system and stick around. So that is a very, very common mistake. Expensive schools, and thinking like once you change to students, you're gonna, you can just do what you want. That is not true. Another common question I hear, Janet, if I change to student, does it mean I'll get a work permit? Will I be able to work? I remind people, if someone came to your country today as a visitor or as a tourist, will they start asking that to get work permits? So some of these things, if you just think through them, they will make sense. Here is just they have those opportunities, and when you come, there is a process. So every process is stepwise. So we cannot just assume that because I came in as a visitor, then they'll give me a driver's license, they'll give me a work permit. No, that is a misconception. The misconception is not true. When you come and you change from from visit to student, it means you want to go to school. And you will have to abide by the law. You will pay for service fee, and they will monitor your student status. Another question I get a lot is people telling me, Janet, what if I change status and they take time to come back to me? As you well know, the process can take long. It can take up to 5-6 months. And if that process takes that long, most of the time you're I-94. Okay, you know what I-94 means. I love you because you're very informed nowadays. For those who don't know, I-94 is the entry departure record. So normally if you come to the port of entry, more than likely the country where you come from, they've given you a 1-year visa, 2-year, 3 or 5-year visa with multiple entries. But when you reach the port of entry, they usually invite you for 6 months. So meaning you're only supposed to stay 6 months and go back home. Now, you can extend officially. You just have to let them know that you want to extend that visa. But that is what we mean I-94. I-94 is the entry departure record, which always when people call me, they ask me questions. I just show them where to go and print it because it's public information and they have their record. So people say, but that I-94, Janet, if I come in January and I'm supposed to exit in June and then I make the application, okay, what if they delay to come back? Will I be here legally? And the answer is yes. So long as they've received your paperwork, it means that you're here legally. And then they're like, but what if they deny me? Then will I be in trouble? No, at least you try to do the right thing. Because even if they deny you, they will let you know what the next steps are. And those steps are just like, if you're in the embassy and they deny you a visa, does it mean you've broken the law? No. It just means that go work hard next time and improve. So it's the same thing. The only time you fall in trouble is you show up, okay, and then you don't do anything about it. But I'm talking of change of status. Again, these things I will highly, highly advise to always come and call us, come for a consultation, we review. If we see it's a very complex case, now we have a lawyer, we send you to the lawyer, okay? Because when I'm talking like this, I realize that if I say this, someone might mistake it for something else. Let me just give you an example. Right now, if you're listening to me, you could have made that mistake. I just said that the I-539, which is change of status, if there is a delay and the I-94 has expired, you're still safe. But that is change of status from visit visa to student. But the same I-539 can be used for what? Extending your visa. And maybe the visa, if you go to the bulletin, they might tell you, if you don't hear from us, you're supposed to exit. So do you see, these are two different cases. But if someone just comes here, they listen to bloggers like us, they listen to us, and then they just think they know everything, you might mess up. Okay, I always say that in one video, I cannot cover everything. But if you give me time on an individual case, I will slice it inside out. Okay, because I have the knowledge, I've gone to school for this, I have the experience, but also I have a lawyer. A lawyer will advise us on how to go about that case. So these are the most common mistakes. And just to finish, when it comes to change of status, the mistake people think also that they can do it on their own. And this one I've written on the page so many times. If you need any help and you want us to connect you to the lawyer, of course, Janet Rangi 67@gmail.com. Janet Rangi 67@gmail.com. Your intent has to be to come, go back. But if you change your mind, the law allows you to do these things. Okay, so just make sure your intent is very clear from the start. Do not take matters in your own hands. So the most common mistake I've seen, which is people get shocked, is they put in the paperwork. Maybe they were in a hurry. Then the US comes back with 5 pages of evidence, asking them to answer those questions. And I'm telling you, it's sweating. It's sweating, and that is when people realize cheap is